Sound on Sound, January 1990. This is very interesting because this is a transitional time when manufacturers are going from analog to digital, but some are still holding on to analog. You see a review here of the Tascam 24-track tape recorder. You see some removable hard disk drive reviews. So things were slowly going from analog to digital. So this issue should be a lot of fun to go through. So thank you very much for watching. I'm Espen Kraft, and let's go through this issue of Sound on Sound, January 1990. Now, this magazine was sent to me by one of my viewers, but what he failed to tell me is that this magazine emits a really foul and unpleasant odor, like it's been stored in a very smoky basement for 500 years. So I'll throw this out when this little walkthrough is done. Okay, some cool Roland stuff to the left there, straight away. Is your MIDI setup getting out of hand? The Synthesizer Company Limited, big ad there with among them Waldorf, the microwave I see, and an Apple Portable. Very clean in this issue, pages. Ian Gilby was editor back then. And look at the left there. All the different ways you can contact Sound on Sound with fax, telephone, telex. Really? Interesting. And some welcome, Fabulous Studio, the Sansui WXX1. I actually remember that one. Edits. What's here? And here's that microwave again. And Commodore bundle Dr. T's with Amiga. More edits. Erasable optical disc from DAR. I remember that one. Cheap memory upgrades for S1000. I paid almost $1,000 for an 8 megabytes update on mine. Shape of Things to Come. Isn't that a column still in Sound on Sound? What do we have here? Well, I can see Steinberg, Cubase version 1.5. It's interesting. And Sony had some new stuff out. Studio Furniture, Steinberg Topaz Recorder. Did anyone use the Topaz Recorder? Please say so in the comment section. I never tried that myself. Was it any good? Studio Furniture is always nice. Improve your memory. That's the removable hard disk stuff going on. That was coming full speed at that time. I remember it very vividly. Best prices. And Tascam cassette decks, of course. And there's the big brother, the MSR24. That's a 24-track tape recorder. There's a feature on that later in this issue. Its best feature is its price, it says in the ad. Let's see that later. Okay, so we have the Sound Tools by DigiDesign. This was pre-Pro Tools. I actually had this a couple of years later. Okay, so here's the big one, the Tascam MSR24. Same as we have in the ad there. And this was, of course, a Pro piece of kit, and it costs that as well. This has a price tag in 1990 of £8,399. That's not pocket money. Recording techniques and the Digitech vocal harmonizer. I remember that one. I had the one that came after that. The Music Mess in Frankfurt. I remember those as well. And here we have the Waldorf microwave. Nice ad. That one actually had analog filters. I know because I had it. More Roland stuff. Neutech, Newtech, Nowtech. How do you say that? Future Music in Chelmsford. And here we have the Kawai K4. You might remember the K1, and K4 was coming some years later. Really nice synth. Yamaha DR100 digital reverb, and coming soon the SY77 and TG55. Remember, this was everyone was going from analog to digital. Digital had been going a couple of years now, and everyone wanted in on digital. Analog was really a big no-no at this point in time, around 1990. Sound on Sound software. There were lots of different editors back then. On the Atari platform, on the Mac platform. Editors for all kinds of software, really. Sampling, sequencing, patches, Shure SM58 and the Beta 58, of course. A visit from the doctor. This is a Dr. T guru at that time. Welcome to the 90s from Anderton Music. Thatched Cottage Digital. And Techniques always liked colors on one side. DAT machines were still going strong back then. And here we have the Yamaha SY77 RCM synthesizer review. And that is a big review, actually, a big synth as well. The Sabre series from Allen Heath, I had one of those. And the feature on the SY77 goes on and on. Check out that Roland CM64 up there to the right. This was in the beginning, all those small sound modules coming out from among the other Roland. SY77, 2,000 pounds in 1990. Books from the Sound on Sound bookshop, Casio FC1 and FC10, the CS101. I'd actually like a couple of these books today. I love reading old synthesizer books. Sequencer 1 for the Atari. I never tried that. Did any of you guys have that? Maybe you still have it. Let us in on how it's to use. And a MIDI timecode clinic. That was very... the turnkey shop, I've been there. Look at that Akai ad. Excellent. What we have here, we have the 1000 playback units and the S950 and the S1000, of course. That's a really cool ad with those blue displays and that blue type velvet background. More on MIDI timecode. I'd like to show you something about MIDI timecode later in a later video. That'll be coming one day. And what else? Getting into video. That was no joke, I can tell you, in the 80s and 90s. The Genlocks and stuff like that. I could easily fill a couple of videos with just that. KS1000 keyboard version. The Alesis MIDI Verb 3. Those aren't actually half bad. Can be useful. System exclusive, of course. That's always been black art for some. And it can be. It's not always plain sailing. 250 track MIDI sequencer. Patch-based studios. Bringing a dream to life. Professional 20-track studio. Maybe they had that Tascam MSR24 we saw earlier. Let's see. Doesn't really say. Soundcraft Delta mixer there. Hints, tips, and news from the world of music software. In today's Sound on Sound, they have the different platforms and software on different pages. Cubase, Logic, Ableton, etc. So they've expanded on that one. Voyager, the Plus for the IBM PC, I remember that one. Sounding Off is probably near the end here. Yes, that's still going on in today's Sound on Sound. And some Korg ads at the end. So that was Sound on Sound, the January issue of 1990. A very interesting issue, as I told you earlier, because of the transition from analog to fully digital. And this would go on for quite some years after this as well. sample libraries starting to appear more and more, the prices on memory expansions went down, and workstations was really coming in style for the next couple of years. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. It's a lot of fun going through these old magazines with you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Cheers!